Claudine, who specializes in pregnancy yoga, pregnancy health, womb cleansing. We have got Sal, who specializes in natural skin and hair. We've got Abby, who's a specialist in personal development and life coaching. And then we've got Claudine, who's a nutritionist, and myself as a nutritionist as well. So we're going to start off by asking some questions that have come through the live stream. So does anyone at the table want to answer this one? Hi, does any of the speakers have more information about adenomyosis? I was diagnosed, but not many people, even the doctors, knew much about it. Okay, so what I understand about adenomyosis is that it's when the inner lining of the uterus... Greetings. Sorry, am I too loud? Alright, I'm going to pull it away so I don't... Is that okay? Sorry, yeah, I don't want to deafen anyone. So what I understand about adenomyosis is that it's a condition where the inner lining of the uterus falls away. So it's not actually the period, it's the inner lining of the uterus. Most of the experts here would possibly agree with this, is that it's not always the symptoms that is important. It's working with you to find out what your diet's like, what your hydration's like, what your stress levels are like, what chemicals you're exposed to, what your mental and emotional state is. Because sometimes, no matter what the symptoms are, we'll do a consultation within 10 minutes, we might all come up with the same thing. So even though when you go out there that you put in that name and you've been given the diagnosis and nothing's coming up, so you can't say, okay, I've got this, so everyone says cure it this way. Natural health practitioners don't always work like that. And when I was working as when I started training, in fact, what I was pounded into me was the opposite of the doctors. The doctors are like, find out the symptoms, then give them this. Find out the symptoms, if we need to cut it out, if we need to drug it, if we need to burn it, then that's what we're going to do. What I was taught is the symptoms almost don't matter as much as finding out what's going on with the person at a root cause. Because once you address someone's nutrition, because some people come to me with pain and weight challenges and skin eruptions, and I almost put them to the side until I find out, okay, what are you eating? How much water are you drinking? Are you getting any raw food in at all? How many times do you pass a stool? And sometimes people can come in with like 15 different symptoms, 15 different clients, 15 different symptoms. We do the same thing to address their nutrition, their hydration, their stress, their lifestyle, and all of the conditions go. Now, if after I've worked with someone for 4 or 5 weeks or 6 or 7 weeks and the symptoms are still not going, then we start addressing the symptoms. But the foundation is most important. Because you can have the prettiest house with the nicest curtains and the designer door and the laminate carpet and shag pile and all that kind of stuff. But if the foundation's rocky, you're going to keep on getting cracks in the walls. You're going to keep on getting subsidence. And that's the most important thing, is to work on the foundation. And ancestrally, our ancestors worked on the foundation from birth. Once a couple started courting, the man was put on a diet, the woman was put on a diet. Once they got married, their diets were adjusted, because it wasn't like, oh, would we have a child? They're going to have a child. It was just second nature, they're going to have a child. And then when the mother got pregnant, she was put on another diet. And then when she was in the 4th stage of pregnancy, the 4th trimester, after the baby's born, she was put on another diet. So we were always considerate of prevention. Our lifestyle was preventative, as opposed to, oh, wait until a symptom comes up, then let's do something about it. So, and it is unfortunate that when you put in things like adenomyosis, even when you put in metrorrhagia, the condition that I have, you put in a lot of condition, not much comes up. And it's unfortunate that our conditions are so blasé, it's just a black woman's problem. Keisha, don't worry about it, it's just a black woman's problem. Fibroids, you lot learn to deal with it like you've learned to deal with everything else. You're black women, innit? You know how to deal with it, just get on with it. That's literally the mindset. You're Serena Williams, you're an Olympic star, just get on with it. You probably had injuries before, you're Beyonce, you're the richest woman in the world. Just get on with it. No, we're black women, and that's why these events are so important, because we're not following the model of the medical establishment that was not designed for us. And we have to take our health into our own hands. And I would highly encourage everyone to not focus on getting rid of their symptoms as much as finding out what's causing those symptoms in the first place and addressing it from there. Because what's going to happen remarkably is, when you start addressing your foundation, every other problem you've lived with is going to start disappearing. You're like, bro, I've always had this pain when I woke up, and I just woke up just like that. I always wake up and sleep in my eye. It's not there anymore. My husband always used to snort. He don't snort. This must be a miracle. Literally, stuff you weren't even thinking about is going to start rectifying itself. Because again, your body is designed to heal, grow, and repair itself. It just needs the energy to do that. And even if your condition doesn't have a name, holistic health is going to manage it. Standards. Okay, so we don't have any other questions through the live stream. So does anyone else have any other questions, greetings, for any of the other experts?
Well, sorry, for the sake of the recording, we're gonna, you're gonna do it. Okay, so for the sake of the recording, we're gonna get people to take the mic round. So please wait until the mic comes to you before you start speaking. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that powerful contribution there. I had fibroids removed about 22 years ago. Surprise, surprise, they've come back and they're worse than before. You know, I said to a consultant I saw in Lewisham Hospital, I've got the size of a 6-month pregnancy. She looked at me like I was an idiot. And then when she pushed around and poked around because she couldn't find the scans, oh yes, they're the size of a 6-month pregnancy. Oh, that's a surprise. Because I've been pregnant, I know what it looks like. But what I find quite interesting is, does anybody on the panel, yourself, Leah, has any black doctor, female or male, done any work on this? And I won't be surprised if you say that you don't know or know because it's a black woman's condition, like you said, get on with it. And secondly, has anybody from a holistic health point of view done any work on fibroids? Because it's so common.
Thank you, sis, for that question. Thinking about any research that's been done, I don't know if any black doctors have done any research thinking about it. It's something I'd like to look into more. As you said that, I'm keen to go and have a look at it myself now to find out a bit more information if there is something out there. But you're right, it's something that needs to be addressed, and just keep giving the blanket, oh, take contraceptive pills, do this, do that, to get rid of it is not our solution. And the holistic, like Leah said, the holistic element of it is really key, and that's the foundation of the cleanses and stuff that I do with my clients, is deal with your health and your healing first. It's so, so key, and that is the important thing for us to get to. But yes, we do need some more research, it is essential, but I would like to look into that actually, because I haven't heard, I don't know if anybody else has heard of anything that's specific.
It's not, sorry, please, this one. It's not necessarily related to fibroids per se, but I did come across something, and I was led to it by a lady in America you might have heard of her called Chef Aki, who has a fibroid elimination plan. And she did an interview, and she was talking about a scientific paper, and then I went and looked at it, around high levels of estrogen exposure and how that leads to growth of tumours. So we know, we are aware that young black girls tend to start their periods earlier, and that can be a mixture of diet, the kind of things we're eating, skin and hair care products as well. But the longer, what I saw in the paper and what they were saying was that the longer that you are exposed to estrogen, so this is natural estrogen occurring in your body, the longer that you're exposed to those things, the more likely you are to have cell growth and abnormal cell growth. So that could be an explanation for the prevalence of fibroids. I haven't looked into it enough, but that was something that I picked up on, and I thought I need to look at that a little bit more.
So I throw a challenge to you to collaborate and do the work, because it's overdue. I'm 62 this year, and I'm pretty much 8 years old. So, you know, we need, if we're going to chart down the alternative system, then we need to do the work. Word.
Thank you. Okay, what I will say is that I stopped using doctors as a benchmark a long time ago. So when I'm looking for solutions, I don't look for doctors. I don't think, oh, have the medical professionals done research on it? And if they haven't, then there's none. Because if you do Charmaine's program, you're likely to get better results than if you were to work with, if you did Charmaine's program in conjunction with working with Claudine, in conjunction with the personal development of Abby, you will probably get better results than going to the doctors, because these sisters have created something holistically from their experience and from their knowledge. So even though you may not be able to find it in the medical professional, that's not the only place that you can go to, because I know and have researched and know clients who have gone through other people's women elimination programs, and it's been more successful than when they did go to the doctors.
So that's why I put the challenge to them.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's challenge accepted because she got it. That's what I'm saying. The sister's got a womb cleanse program. There's even 2 brothers in America who were born in, huh? Yeah, they were from the UK and now they're in America, And they have a womb cleanse program that they do with a sister called Coach Jessie. I mean, what I'm saying is it's already out there. I highly recommend that you don't stop at there's no medical research and the doctors don't know, as that's the only answer, because they just don't know. Like, I've spoken to junior doctors, because I thought it was a myth when they said that doctors don't have nutritional training. I spoke to a junior doctor who was about to qualify. I said, how much training have you had in nutrition? She said, oh, about a week. Yeah, 7 days. And I said, what did you learn? She goes, oh, just tell them to give them some vitamins. That's it. And for older people, what do you think they give all older people? Ensure. That is their nutritional training. Give older people nourishment. Remember nourishment? Banana nourishment, chocolate nourishment. I used to live on that. If I miss the lunch, it's nourishment in it and I'm good. Nourishment and supermart and I'm good. That is the nutritional training that they use. That's what doctors have. And we know your body is made of nutrients. So there's no disease that's caused by a lack of medication. You don't have cholesterol because you're not taking statins. You don't have high blood pressure because you're not taking beta blockers. That's not the reason you've got those problems. So taking those problems is just you're not, like, period pains aren't caused by the lack of the pill. There's a reason for them. And all doctors are able to I call them symptom managers. Doctors are symptom managers. They're brilliant at managing symptoms, and they're so good at managing symptoms, they create new symptoms. They'll give you something to get rid of a symptom. That something causes 2 more symptoms. Oh, we can deal with that too. Then that creates 3 more. Oh, we got something for that. They reproduce symptoms. They're so good at treating symptoms and creating more symptoms. So, challenge accepted. The sisters, it's already out there. It's already out there.
Hi, I just wanted to thank each one of you ladies for amazing presentations. My questions are to Claudine. You've mentioned something about 3 types of estrogen. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I do. Hello? Yeah. Sorry, what's the question? I didn't hear. Oh, right, sorry. So yeah, your body naturally produces estrogen anyway, and then it needs to go through various processes to take action that it needs to take. So it's converted. You start off, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the exact names now, but it's estrol and I can't remember the exact names, but yeah, that's it. And so yeah, it's converted 3 times to be able to do the job that it needs to do, and then the final one is the one that is most active. So it's gone through the process in terms of having the effect on your reproductive system. The final one is the most active, and what would normally happen is that it would be converted by the liver into a safe form so that it can be excreted out. But if that hangs about in your system for too long, because it's highly active, it can have an effect on your cells, and that's when we start to see cellular growth or abnormal cellular growth as well.
The other thing to note about the estrogen is, like the sister said, when it hangs around the system, it can cause problems, and that's why a lot of us have spoken about digestive wellness, and especially things like supporting your liver, because your liver makes sure that there's not excess estrogen and hormones floating around your body. But when your liver is congested, and I can see in your blood when your liver's congested, it can't do that job. It can't do the job of getting rid of excess hormones. So those excess hormones just keep floating around your body, and then they'll find places to settle and eat on and make use of the healthy tissue in your body. So it's really important that you do focus on making sure you're cleansing your liver and supporting your liver. So celery juice first thing in the morning is very restorative to your liver. The herb milk thistle is very restorative to your liver, and these will get rid of the congestion, because literally in your blood I can see half broken blood cells that are floating around, and your blood goes through your liver all of the blood in your body goes through your liver every 20 minutes roughly, depending on your size and height. And your liver should be pulling those out of circulation. And when we can see a lot of old dead blood cells in your circulation, we can tell your liver, as well as a lot of other things, we can tell your liver's congested, and it's no surprise that you've got estrogen dominance, because again, your body in its natural state would have been able to cycle that off, and then you would eliminate it through your urine or your stools.
Yeah, just to add to what Leah's saying, if we're thinking about processed food as well, if we're eating a banana, your body will recognise it's potassium and it will go through the process. If we're dealing with processed food, the body's thinking, what is this? and then we're getting the store build up as well. So this is where I have to be very mindful about that processed food as well. So just to kind of add on.
Okay, we're going to have time for one more question, then we're going to go for a break. Okay, how many questions do we have? No one had their hand up until I said that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 questions over here. Okay, sis, it's all on you. It's all on you, sis. I'm not taking the fall. The sister in the middle is going to choose who gets the questions. Okay, there we go. Thank you.
I wanted to ask about cosmetic surgery and just this trend I'm finding with some of our younger sisters who are feeling that they want to change their body shape, and I feel that there hasn't been much discussion in our community about the implications, you know, the side effects. It's just seeing people on Instagram with, you know, these big breasts or, you know, changing their bottom or their shape, and we're not really looking at what this is doing to us and what it's reflecting in terms of our self-esteem.
You trying to say I can't get a boob job? Is that what she's saying? Like, I can't get a boob job? Because I have the money down and everything.
It's interesting, isn't it? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think a lot of our young people everything is exposed. Everything is snapped in a minute, and that's the life and that's the story that they're looking and they're thinking they want to live. And I think when they're kind of growing up in this culture of seeing all these programs, even my daughter's 21 and they watched this program called Botched, like where all these really dodgy surgeries have taken place and, you know, people are really, really disfigured. But it's almost like I feel like in their world, that is their reality. And I think my concern is that because it's a warped reality, it's not a real reality, you're aspiring to be something that you're actually not. If you're not able to keep up with that trend, or if you felt that you're left behind, okay, then I think for a lot of young women particularly, that definitely causes them short, medium or long-term mental health issues. Because they are so concerned with their own image and not being good enough, and not wanting to look in the mirror and not wanting to see their reflection. They want to see somebody else's reflection. So I think it's kind of down to all of us, women in the room, to let them know whenever you can, whether it's your daughter, mother, sister, friend, you are beautiful. You are beautiful as you are. You will always be beautiful, and you stand in your own magnificence every day, everywhere.
I was just saying, I think she's absolutely right. Abby's right. I've got a 14-year-old daughter, and I monitor her on Snapchat, I monitor her on Instagram because she thinks that being a curvy girl is a norm. So she saw the girls from TLC. She said, "Oh, they're so skinny. There's no curves there." I said, "Well, it's a normal body hair. Not everyone has curves. It's normal in our time just to have a slim body and a slim waist and no bust is okay." But she thinks that everyone has a big bust and the big boobs and that's the norm for them at this stage. So I think, again, it's communication to your child and letting them know that she's okay to be flat-chested, have a flat bum, it's okay, it's normal. No one has to be a Kim Kardashian. That's, you know, it's a trendy thing. It's not a normal thing. So, yeah, I think it's communication in the home and letting your child know they're okay how they are and just keep speaking to them. Keep on speaking to them.
Just quickly, everybody. Kim Kardashian, yeah? Hello?
I know it's fake, but that's what
it is, yes. It's us though, isn't it? It's us and it's stuff. I know, but I just had to add that in.
That's what's in their world. I've followed it in.
Okay, we've got about 5 more minutes. So if we can get the other 3 questions, please. Hiya. You got the mic?
Hello, is that okay?
Yes, so perfect. Yeah.
Sorry everyone. Just really to say to the panel, to you all there, thank you very much, and I think on behalf of everybody, for you creating and presenting the Hidden Science Academy, because it's been hidden, because not a lot of people have been talking about this. Quite simply, I'm sitting here and I'm hearing a lot of other ladies that are talking about, my sister here, fibroids. I think I've got exactly the same. I've got literally a girlfriend right behind me, went to the same school, more or less the same thing, the fibroids. I'm sorry, I am going back to this. We are beautiful. We're beautiful. Think about the Imans, think about the Jordans and all the others. Forget Kim. Let's just think about that. Okay, right. And what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, listen, ladies, wake up. the people in front of you, the panel, the people in all these shops, everyone is working for you. Look at their faces, they are you, reflection of you. Don't look at this, don't look at the medical side, don't look at your doctors. I was blessed because I had a doctor that was a black doctor, so he was looking out for me, he protected me. What I'm trying to say is a lot of the time what they're trying to do is make sure that we have a mastectomy. Not a mastectomy, make sure that they take away the hysterectomy. Make sure they take away the boob. Think about what it is. It's almost like it's a conspiracy, thank you, the word. It's a conspiracy, be careful. Think about the things that we've been using in our hair and so on. It is time, wake up everybody. We're here, enjoy what we've been seeing today and listening to today. Thank you.
Okay, 2 more questions because we've got 3 minutes. If you don't get your question answered, I've just decided that the sisters are going to sit there and you lot can just come to the table because we're going to go for a break. But the sisters are going to, I'm not even going to let them get up. So if you don't get your question answered here, then they're going to be barricaded here so you can just come to the table and ask some questions.
Alright, hello, thank you.
Decision. Greetings.
My name is Ren. Thank you everyone, thank you for all of this. Can somebody on the panel or someone in the room talk a little bit about the high level of autoimmune conditions that are happening, particularly, it's according to my wide spectrum of friends, it feels like it's predominantly people of my wonderful melanated people, and also how the Genome Project relates to all of this. There's a human genome project, which if you could shed some light on why that project is the reason why we should not be always relying on what the doctor says, because actually they do not know, they do not have all of the statistics and all the information on us because we are not part of the Human Genome Project. But yeah, more importantly, can we talk a bit more about the autoimmune conditions, please, because it's just out of control. Thanks.
Yeah. Hi. So I dealt with an autoimmune condition myself when I was at university, and that's what really triggered my own health journey. So mine wasn't even really diagnosed or given a name. Luckily I was able to go for private healthcare, and it took about, I'd say over 12 months, maybe about a year and a half for things to get back to normal, and even now I still have to pay attention to certain things. And yes, speaking to other people, I guess I was, about 19 when it happened, so feeling really isolated. I didn't know anybody else who had been going through anything like that. And then years later speaking to other people and finding out there are so many other black people that have dealt with things like that, and they've gone through a lot worse experience than I did because they went through the NHS and it took a lot longer and the condition got worse. So yeah, it's sad. And it's not, I'm mainly focused on women's health, but I have looked into it somewhat. And I believe that some of it, there has been evidence actually, I think there's been studies to show that some autoimmune conditions can be linked to trauma as well, particularly maybe in childhood. So, I guess your body will respond to trauma in the same way that it responds to an illness. It's something, if it's I'm talking about an emotional trauma or something like that. So it's something that can still cause inflammation and imbalance in the body. And there has been studies to show that possibly childhood, childhood ACEs, childhood adverse conditions, something like that, there is a link between that and autoimmune conditions. And I think that there could be a possible link there.
Sis, you sound like you have quite a bit of knowledge about it already, but the room, anything from vaccinations to dairy to the antibiotics that they're pumping into the animals, all of those things will make your healthy immune system start treating your healthy cells as dangers and start attacking them. So in the same way, inflammation is good. Inflammation is what happens when your body recognizes something's wrong. It creates inflammation, but it should only be for a short amount of time, then it reduces. And inflammation becomes dangerous when there's an imbalance and it stays and it's prolonged. The same thing with the contractions of your womb when you're having your period. Small contractions, fine, to release the lining. when things stimulate it to unhealthy levels, it contracts too much and it's pushing like you're having a baby. And it's the same with your immune system. Your immune system's there to defend you, but when your immune system has to deal with the gases from the fumes from the cars and radiated food, and then GMO foods, and then things in the air, chemtrails, and the junk in the water, and the EMF from your phone that you're on all the time, and then the tablet, and then the TV, your immune system goes crazy. It doesn't know what to, it doesn't now know what to recognize as healthy and unhealthy. And some of these foods that we're taking in start literally making our healthy cells unhealthy or unrecognizable to your immune system, and your immune system just wants to attack everything constantly. So there is it's just a product of living in an unnatural world. And not to say that we need to become one of those people that's like lives in a pyramid made of amethyst. Like, we don't need to go that far and walk around with this pyramid on our heads with sage, like white sage and everyone, don't come near me. We don't need to do all of that. But we need to be mindful that we can use ancient wisdom as well as modern technology to survive in the environment. Because humans are very adaptable. We're very adaptable. I mean, we're so adaptable, they've predicted that in the next 10 or 20 years, children are going to be born with bigger thumbs. Because we use our thumbs so much, we're going to be born with smaller noses so that we're not taking in as much pollution, and the pupils of our eyes are going to be changed as well because we're looking at screens so much. Adaptation will happen, and it is part of living in this society, but you can live in the world but not of the world. That's a famous saying of my spiritual guide, Dr. Malachi Zio. You can live in the world but not of the world. You don't need to do what everyone else is doing to survive in this world. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of time, so can we give a big round of applause to Claudine Thornhill, Abby Oshu, Sal Baxter, and Charmaine Niket. They will